One money management hack that will save you thousands. Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck and struggling to save money? I'm going to share with you the one money management hack that completely transformed my finances and saved me thousands of dollars. From budgeting and saving to investing and getting out of debt, this simple yet powerful trick will help you take control of your money and achieve financial freedom. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced saver, this money management hack is a game changer. So what are you waiting for? Watch now and let's start building your financial future. For the longest time, I was convinced I was just broke. I felt like a law of physics in my life, kind of like gravity. Money would come in and money would immediately go out. And by the end of the month, my bank account was a big black hole. I'd look at my paycheck, which on paper seemed like a respectable number. Then I'd look at the single digits staring back at me right before the next payday. And I just couldn't make it add up. But here's the thing. I wasn't actually broke. I was leaking thousands of dollars a year. It was this kind of quiet, constant drain, like drip, 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 that was happening right in front of me on things I did not even realize I was spending money on. I want to share with you one simple, almost embarrassingly obvious money hack that completely exposed my ridiculous spending, saved me thousands of dollars, and it changed my financial life. And the most shocking part wasn't even how much I was spending. It was what I was wasting it on. So stick around because there's a good chance you're leaking money too. I call this the black hole account. For years, I lived under this cloud of constant low-grade money stress. It wasn't the kind of stress that keeps you awake at night, but more like a permanent dreary fog, and it just followed me around. I had a decent job. My bills were paid on time. If you looked from the outside in, everything seemed totally fine. But inside, I felt like I was sprinting on a hamster wheel and I was getting nowhere. I'd get a bigger commission check and feel a little spark of excitement thinking, okay, this is it. This is when I finally get ahead. But a few months later, I was in the same exact spot. The extra money just vanished. It got sucked into some vortex. The whole cycle created a story in my head that I was bad with money. I honestly thought savings was for people who made more income than me and for people with the willpower of a monk. For me, it felt impossible. The idea of having a real emergency fund felt like total fantasy, and investing might as well have been the language from another planet. And that feeling of helplessness is the absolute worst. You start to believe you have no control, that your financial situation is just something that happens to you. I believed I didn't have a spending problem. I thought I had an income problem. And I was completely 100% wrong. My turning point didn't come from some fancy financial advisor or a spreadsheet that would make an accountant's head spin. It came from a moment of pure frustration. I was complaining to a friend, what felt like the 100th time, about being broke, and they just looked at me and asked, "Do you even actually know where your money goes?" And I was like, well, of course, bills, rent, groceries. But even as I said it, I could hear how weak it sounded. Did I really know? Down to the last dollar? So right then and there, I decided to try a simple experiment. The hack wasn't about making more money. It wasn't about cutting up my credit cards or putting them in the freezer and freezing them in a can of water or going to some painful extreme budget. It was just one thing for 30 days. I was going to track every single dollar I spent. That's it. No judgment, no big changes, just pure data. I didn't even download an app. I just used notes on my phone. Every single time I bought something, a coffee, a pack of gum, an Amazon order, a bill payment, I wrote it down. I wrote down the date, what it was, and how much it cost. It was that simple. My goal wasn't to punish myself. It was to finally see the one thing I was missing: awareness. Because you can't control until you know the honest truth. And the shocking truth of my spending? I went into this for a 30-day experiment expecting to find a few small leaks. Maybe I was spending a little bit more on takeout than I realized. What I actually found was a fire hose of wasted money that was both shocking and honestly embarrassing. It was life-changing. After a month, I sat down and started sorting everything into categories. It felt like I was a detective in a mystery where I was both the investigator and the main suspect. And the evidence was damning. It all fell into 4 main categories of pure ridiculousness. And the first one is what I call the convenience tax. That was the extra money I was paying for just being a little bit lazy. The $5 delivery fee for a salad that I could have walked 2 blocks to get. The pre-chopped vegetables at the grocery store that cost twice as much. The Uber to a friend's house that was just a quick walk away. None of these felt like a big deal at the moment. But when I added it up, I had spent over $150 in 1 month just to avoid tiny inconveniences. That was my convenience tax, and it was robbing me blind. The second thing was the subscription graveyard. This one was horrifying. I had streaming services I hadn't logged to in months. I had a subscription to meditation app I think I'd used twice. I was paying for premium features on a few apps that I didn't even know I had. It was like a digital ghost town of forgotten trials and recurring payments, each one quietly siphoning money from my account every month. They make it so easy to sign up, and they're counting on you to forget, and I did. Seeing it all listed out, I realized that I was throwing away nearly $70 a month on things that added up to zero value in my life. That's over $800 a year for nothing. The third was just one more thing trap. This was the silent killer of my budget. It was the extra bag of chips at the grocery store. The deal of the day on Amazon that I just couldn't live without. The muffin I'd grab on my morning coffee. These little impulsive buys are the most dangerous because they seem so small. A $3 pastry doesn't feel like a financial crime. But I was doing it almost every single day. That daily coffee and pastry alone was costing me over $150 a month. This category, death by 1,000 cuts, was where my most money was disappearing. Hundreds of dollars on things I didn't need, didn't plan for, and I honestly didn't even really want. Fourth category was social obligation. This was all the money I spent on dinners, drinks, and events that I felt I had to go to, even when my wallet was screaming no. It was that pressure to keep up, to not be the person who had to say, sorry, I can't afford that. Because I didn't have a plan for my money. Every social invitation felt like a financial landmine. I was saying yes with my mouth while my bank account was begging for help. Fifth, I was eating lunch out every day. Every day. I didn't even try to go home, and I just lived 5 minutes away from the office, and I could have run home to fix my lunch. When I saw this number, I knew that I had to make changes. I was spending $10,000 annually on dining out for lunch. I almost fell off the office chair when I saw this number. That math changed everything. After I laid it all out, I grabbed my phone's calculator, and that number, when it hit, just turned the pit of my stomach. The convenience tax, $150. The subscription graveyard, $70. The just one more thing trap, easily $300. The social obligation spend, $200 a month. I had wasted over $1,530 in a single month. The lunches out, $830. I had wasted $1,530 in a single month. Let that sink in for a second. That's over $18,360 a year. The whole "I have an income problem" story I'd been telling myself just got shattered. I didn't have an income problem. I had an awareness problem. For years, I was telling myself I was broke when in reality, I was basically setting fire to a pile of cash every month. But the feeling I had wasn't shame. It was empowerment. For the first time, I felt like I was in the driver's seat. The problem wasn't some big, scary, unsolvable mystery. It was just a bunch of small, thoughtless decisions. And that meant the solution was just as simple. Start making small, thoughtful decisions. The goal wasn't to deprive myself of everything fun. The goal was to spend my money on the things I actually valued, to spend on purpose. That's when I could finally create a real budget that worked for me, giving me every bit of my money spent the way I wanted, whether it was for bills, savings, or fun. If any of this is starting to sound a little too familiar, if you feel that's the same frustration of wondering where is my money going, I want you to know that you can find your leaks too. The first step is just to look. And to help you out, I've created a simple one-page spending tracker that you can download for free. The link is right down in the description. No complicated formulas, just a clean space for you to start your own 30-day experiment, your 30-day financial reset. Ready to do this? Ready to take back control? Here's how you can do this same exact experiment. Think of it as a 30-day financial reset. First, choose your tool. It does not have to be fancy. The Notes app on your phone, it's perfect. A little cheap notebook you keep in your pocket and also write everything down. Don't let finding the perfect way to do this stop you from just starting. Simple is better. Okay, so for 30 days, track everything. And I mean everything. The 99-cent pack of gum, the parking meter, the automatic bill payment, the Venmo to your friend for pizza. Write it all down. Don't judge it. Don't analyze it. Just become a detective on your own spending. You have to see it to change it. And at the end of 30 days, review and categorize. This is your moment of truth. Create your own categories, just like I did. Give them funny names if you want. Find your convenience tax. Unearth that subscription graveyard. Add up the totals. Seeing the numbers in black and white is the most powerful motivator there is. Once you have that awareness, you can start making a real plan that works for you. Now, this one money management hack saved me thousands of dollars, and it wasn't some secret stock tip, or it wasn't living an extreme frugal lifestyle. It was the simple act of just paying attention. It was trading financial mindlessness for financial mindfulness. This one habit, tracking every single dollar, gave me the proof I needed to change my life. It turned my relationship with money from one of fear and anxiety into one of confidence and control. It proved to me that I wasn't broke. I just needed a plan. And it all started by just writing down every single purchase. The power to change your financial future isn't some far-off lottery win or a massive promotion. It's right here in the small, everyday decisions. It starts with awareness. So I want to challenge you. Try the 30-day tracking experiment. I promise you, whatever you discover will be eye-opening. When you do it, come back to this video and leave a comment. Let me know the most shocking thing you discovered. Let me know what shocked you were wasting your money on. I read every single one of the comments. And if you found this helpful and you're ready to take control of your money for good, please give this video a like, a subscribe. And for more simple, actionable financial advice, Hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. Happy tracking.